So I really hate working retail because I get to miss a lot of cool things when I'm at work, especially Forbidden Limited lists. Now, I did take a look at it because I needed to talk with a lot of people today about how the format's going to shape up. Now, I'm going to do a thoughts and opinions on it and talk about everything that's going to be happening to the game. So as we can see, the first four hits on the list are Fiend's Lacrima, Appaloosa, Bow of the Goddess, Hot Red Dragon, Arching King Calamity, and Beatrice, Lady of the Eternal. So let's go one by one. Fiend's Lacrima getting banned definitely helps players from being a little snobbish at playing their full combo at the end of time, because I noticed a lot of people, they just said, oh, there's like 2 minutes on the clock, let me just do full combo and just wait to Lacrima burn my opponent. And it just created a toxic game state, in all honesty. Appaloosa, Bow of the Goddess, a lot of people were saying the card was going to get banned, and honestly, it's going to change how we feel and how we play the game, because now it's more of a hand trap based game than an end board based game, because we lost a lot of utility and end pieces in the whole entire game with last list, with the Savage ban and Barone ban, and this list and Appaloosa ban. After that, Hot Red Dragon King Calamity, I thought that this card was never going to get hit, but realistically, getting rid of it now is actually a good point before we get the Blue Eyes structure deck, if we ever get that. And realistically, cards that say your opponent don't get to play it isn't really not that fun. Now, after that, Beatrice, Lady of the Eternal, we all knew this card was going to get banned, and honestly, it definitely deserves it. And hopefully we get to see some BA support in the future that replaces her, because Cherubini kind of does what she does, but weaker for the deck. And realistically, the FTK and Fiendsmith definitely are two things that broke her in half. But outside of that, the Forbiddens are actually absolutely perfect in my opinion. And let's get into the next one, being the limits. Now, this is a lot to take in, because this is 11 cards. So let's take it at a few points. So let's talk about number 40 and C40 first. This was just at the FTK. Good riddance. Keeping them at one is absolutely fine. And if they want to, they can ban one and put the other one back at full 3 copies in the future. Then we have Pot of Prosperity, should have been to 1 quite a time ago. And Skill Drain to 1, should have went back, should have never left the list at all. We have Ava coming back. I saw this and I thought, I want to play Drytron, because that deck is pretty much full power now. And honestly, it's good enough, in my opinion. Since they already lost their end board in Appaloosa, they lost things like Savage and Barone. They also lost Link Karibo. So realistically, at the end of the day, Drytron is weaker to what it was back in 2021, I think it was. And honestly, that's absolutely fine. Then we have things like Braided Fusion, should have gotten hit way before. Opening of the Spirit Gates to 1 is definitely a good hit, because they were on 1 Dark Beckoning Beast anyways, and hitting this to 1 definitely hurts the consistency of U-Belt in some shape, way, or form. Sanjin summoning to 1, everyone called that. And honestly, putting Misk on a field spell is definitely a bit broken. Snake Eye, Ash, and Poplar are 2 big ones, because I also want to bring up a topic for this whole entire thing. If we look back at the Oceania WCQ of what won, Snake Eye FTK, Cashier, Snake Eye FTK. So this deck only lost 2 Snake Eye Ash and 1 Snake Eye Poplar. So you could still play the FTK, and this is one card that I was still kind of shocked that they did not ban, because of that whole entire FTK being a thing. So let's go back to this and let's talk about That Grass Looks Greener. 8 going to 1 is fine because we have Monster Gate and Reasoning at 1. And I hope that they never move it past more than that. Because it is definitely to help out things like Infernoid. It also helps out things like Lightsworn. So I could see why that they brought it back to 1, and I think someone had insider info that it was going to be coming back because it was getting bought up like crazy. And honestly, the limits are all absolutely fine. I kind of wish that there was a couple other limits here, kind of like a Kashira hit, maybe like Fenrir, because that would have made sense, because that card is still one of the best pieces in a board that you can have, especially going into this new format, for sure. After that, let's take a look at the semi-limits. All the Dragon Rulers are going back to 2. Lunalight Tiger, Thunder Dragon Colossus, and Ib the World Chalice just this year. If I were in this position, I wouldn't have put them all to 2. I would have put them all to 3, because realistically, all of these cards at 2 and 3 don't matter. All 4 Dragon Rulers back to 3 would make the deck full power again, like it was back in 2013, but that was 2013. Lunalight Tiger could have gone to 3 about 2 years ago. Thunder Dragon Colossus, even though it sounds scary that it's going to be in multiples, we have a lot of these board breakers like Super Polymerization, Forbidden Droplet, Dark Rule and No More, Lava Golem, so we have enough options for that. And then we have Ib the Wild Chalice just this year. This is just Denlong, and it can go with 3 like how Denlong went to 3 on this list. And now for the Unlimits. All these really don't matter. They could have won to 3 about 3 years ago. Well, Armageddon Knight definitely could have gone to 3 a while ago. Red Rose Dragon should have went back to 3 once they banned Halki. Kieran and Plushfire. Kieran is definitely can be scary, but realistically, Pendulum decks aren't doing much, and Magic Spectre is actually a alright rogue deck. I really like that deck, and I'm happy that Kieran is back to 3. Plushfire, it's now hard once per turn. Putting it to 3 was the best option ever, because it saves the time of it going from 1 to 2 to 3. Ancient Fairy Dragon going back to 3 is very fine. It's alright, because realistically, Ancient Fairy Dragon with the errata hasn't done that much. It might have been seen playing something like Tenpai Dragon as a interesting starter. That might be actually very cool. Go Dora, summon out Chandra, synchro into AFD after you set rotation. That is an option you can do. But realistically, AFD here, it's alright. Denlong versus Yingxing, like Ib could have come back way long ago. And Time Seal to 3, I mean, we have Yada at 3, and that's a faster Time Seal. But realistically, what do I think about this list? In my opinion, one of the cards that I wish they would have put 2 was something like D-Shifter to mess with the hypergeometric calculator and all that, but overall, it's a very solid list. It's a huge shake-up list, and it definitely fixes a lot of the issues that the format had, and on top of that, it also fixed a lot of issues that players had with the game of cards saying, you can't play if I summon this card, or just have a big, huge end board that has multiple different types of interruptions and negates. So realistically, I think that this is the correct way that Konami could have done it, and they could have made it bigger if they had more time, but I feel like that the next list is going to be around December-ish. So going from September 2nd to like December 13th, I would say, as that would be exactly 3 months. So after something like Rage of the Abyss comes out, Bonanza and all that. So honestly, it's relatively very, very nice of a list. And with all that they've done to the format, definitely a good restart, and I cannot wait to see what people do with the new format in YCS Lille over in France. And honestly, I cannot wait to see where it takes us there, because I know the next Rage of the Abyss set is going to be in Meta Warper with Lacrima being printed, the Scarlet Sorrow, Dominus Impulse, and quite a bit of other things. We have Memento and Centurion Wave 4, Tenpai Dragon Wave 3, Hua Ross is going to be there, and Mimighoul Wave 2, along with Primordials and Red Eyes. But overall, I give this list a 9 out of 10. Definitely a very solid list. But I wonder what you guys think about the Forbidden Limited list. It kind of hurt me wanting to play 3 Poplar and Azimina, but realistically, Azimina patches out the holes that Snake Eye lost. That isn't Lacrima and Apollosa. But anyways, I have been Bolt Spider. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. But anyways, see you all in the next video.